Okay, hey YouTube, it's me Sean. I'm doing an update about my 30th week in 2 days the 30th week of my pregnancy. I'm 2 days past that 30 weeks. So I'm 30 weeks in 2 days. I'm just doing a quick update. Excuse my appearance. I'm getting my hair braided, so just in case I go into the hospital or whatever in the next couple of weeks here, um, I'll be ready. So I'm gonna try to keep it braided every 2 weeks. So anyways, during this week, nothing's really changed except for the fact that when I do, at night if I drink before I go to bed, which I read somewhere that if I don't drink an hour before I go to bed, then I won't get up so much during the night, which is really hard because I get like dry mouth through the night when I'm sleeping because the air or the fan is on or whatever. So my throat gets dried out really bad. And so I do try to I try not to drink, but I have sometimes I have to. But when I do, I get up like every 2 to 3 hours to go to the bathroom, and so I try to make myself feel better by saying, "Hey, when MJ gets here, this is what I'm going to be doing anyways, so I might as well get used to it now." And what else? Get up every 2 to 3 hours. Oh, and it also takes me like 30 to 45 minutes to get back comfortable enough to go to sleep. Like I literally like scoot down the edge or toward the bottom of the bed to get comfortable. I have a pillow under me, and I have my pillow under my head and one in between my knees. And depending on how MJ's laying, I can or where he's at, or whether he's on my left or right side, I can lay on that pillow. But it just depends on him. So it takes me forever to figure that out and figure myself out because also when I'm pregnant, my joints get really achy, especially when I'm sleeping. So if I sleep with my arm up like this, and by the time I get ready to move it, I have to move it slow because it hurts so bad, like I have arthritis or something. Um, and so, but it only happens like when I lay on it or when I'm sleeping. So that's that. MJ's moving a lot more. Um, and my husband can feel him move and see him move, and I can feel and see him move too. And so he's moving a lot more. Um, and let's see, I think that's pretty much it. Like for the 30th week, like so far nothing else has been happening. I mean that's like out of the ordinary or that you wouldn't expect during this week to happen anyways. Um, excuse me. So, so yeah. Oh, and I also started snacking. I went to the store. Okay, so I had a breastfeeding class yesterday, and I didn't go because I called the doctor on Tuesday and I talked to a nurse, and she said that she's going to email the doctor and get back to me, let me know if I can go or not. So I said, okay. Well, they didn't call me back till today, but prior to today, if you guys saw my last update or about my doctor's appointment, I'm allowed to, or she told me I could go to the grocery store, do light walking. I could walk around the grocery store for a little time or whatever, and I can drive short distances. Well, I get the call today, and I'm like, ask the nurse, uh, she's like, well, I'm calling you back. You can go to your breastfeeding class, but don't walk from the parking garage into the building, and and go to your class. Have whoever's taking you drive you and drop you off by the revolving doors, and you wait there, and then they can meet you there, and then you can go ahead and go to your class. As long as you're sitting down, it's fine. So I'm like, okay, as long as I'm sitting down, fine. So I'm like, well, if I can't, you telling me somebody else has to drive me. I'm like, so I am I allowed to drive? And she was like, if you can avoid it, then don't drive. So I'm like, okay, well, because she said, I guess the doctors looked at my chart and they rather me not be doing all that walking. Um, so I'm like, well, when I went to my doctor's appointment last week, she told me that I could do light walking, walk around the grocery store, and I was like, and that's what I've been doing. Like when my husband is home, like I go ahead and I'll drive, and short distances, around my, like, I live right off a busy road. Kroger's is up the street. Um, and so I'm like, I go to the grocery store. I've been to the grocery store by myself. I went to the bank a couple times. And I just do little stuff, but I come back and come back here and just lay down. So she's like, well, if you really, you shouldn't be going to the grocery store. And she's like, if you do get in one of those electric wheelchairs instead of walking around, that's just too much. She was like, did you get a cramping feeling when you went? I was like, well, no, it wasn't a cramping feeling, but I did get some pain in my stomach from walking around. And she's like, well, yeah, you really shouldn't be walking around the grocery store. If you have to go, let somebody else go for you. But if you have to go, get into the wheelchair, the little motorized wheelchairs that they have. So I'm like getting like super guilty, because feeling super guilty, because I'm like, one, I've been doing all this, and yes, when I told her, when I do get pains, I come back home and I lay down, I lay on my sides or whatever, I'm in bed. So yeah, so I'm like, this is like so scary. And I even asked her about the whole sex question, because the doctor said no sex. Okay, I understand that. But in our modern day terms, what would you define as sex? You know what I mean? Like, so I was like, well, what's that mean? Does that mean nothing at all? I mean, hugs, kisses, and that's it? I mean, is that what that is? Um, and she was like, yeah, like nothing, like no type of stimulation. And she said, even with the breast issue, off limits, because they produce, having your breast stimulated produces oxytocin, which can cause my uterus to contract and I can go into labor. So I'm like, okay, one, it's back to being restricting, because I said before, I felt liberated, that I could do a little something something, but now it's back feeling restricted, because I can't do all what I did. Actually, honestly, I shouldn't even been doing what I did, and I didn't know. And I guess that's the difference between nurses and doctors. Um, she was a lot more informative than the doctor was. The doctor was making me think like, yeah, walk a little here, walk a little there, blah blah blah. You're fine. And I'm like, okay, cool. At least I can do some things. So anyway, got a little emotional on the phone. I don't think the nurse could tell, because I had just woke up and my voice was all icky and whatnot from waking up. And so I don't think she could tell. And um, but I was crying. Like, I felt really bad. Like, I put myself at higher risk to have my son, sometime this month, versus having him in October. So I felt really guilty and all these emotions or whatever. So got all emotional, started crying, and but I'm okay now. Like, I realized, like, okay, well, I didn't know before, and I just found out Thursday. So now that I know, I'm just gonna be bed, couch, bed, couch, except for to go to the kitchen when Mike's not here to fix something to eat and go to the bathroom. Um and as far as like food or whatever, my mom brought me like some chicken noodle soup, homemade chicken noodle soup. Um, and when Mike's off, I'm have him make a list for him, have him go to the grocery store, and we're gonna have to just like really, limit me, because it's just too scary right now, and I don't want to like have him too soon or nothing. So, but anyway, that's my 9 minutes of my day slash my 30th week symptoms. And I just wanted to talk about a little bit about breastfeeding. I know there's like a lot of information out there on the internet and a lot of videos about it. If you can see my history, you can tell that I've been Googling it, I've been YouTubing it. I just trying to get more information about pumping and um, returning back to work and school, starting out and everything. I might make a separate video, because um, there's a lot I want to say about it, and just kind of like be a little informative, and then also share my experience when MJ do get here. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video and do another video about that.